What's up, guys? It is your favorite couple back again for episode 7 of our podcast. We still do. So, this week we are talking about in-laws.
Yes.
And I know I said in the video that we posted, do you like your in-laws? That is not what the topic is about. But that was just something that I threw out there. But we will be talking about in-laws and how to merge the two families.
Blend.
How to blend them. And we will bring up the fact, do you get along with your in-laws? So I'll get started. Go ahead and kick this thing off because I'm probably the one out of this marriage who really had to deal with the in-laws. Actually, I am. Not probably. I am because for those of you guys who don't know, my parents passed away when I was younger. So when we got married, it was just me meeting your parents. And I guess to me it wasn't a weird thing because I've always been respectful and I don't know, I guess just respectful to parents, just because of the fact that I lost mine.
Right.
So it wasn't like I was nervous to meet your parents, but at the same time I was nervous because I knew that they were pastors. Mm-hmm. So it was like,
Yeah, most people are when they find out they're pastors.
When people hear that, oh, my parents are pastors, it's like, they about to scold me. They about to ask me about some Bible verses or what's about to happen here. They about to lay hands on me. Like, I'm not ready for this. I don't know what's about to happen.
About to baptize me in the bathroom.
Yeah, they about to throw me in that water. Like, you gonna be with my daughter. You finna get that Holy Spirit. But it was a little nerve wracking. But I mean, obviously, I got over it. And came away victorious. They accepted me. But looking back on it and seeing how they are now, like, they're nothing like I expected. Mm-hmm. I mean, like
they're really chill. They're laid back.
Really chill. Mom is just like me.
Yeah.
So,
Mom is like you as far as her personality, and she's like outgoing, and she just loves people in general. So I feel like she's just always welcoming and inviting. Even though she didn't like you at first.
Yeah, she did tell me that. She came out and said at first she didn't like me.
But she didn't tell you, like, I don't like you. Like, she didn't tell you that. She told you after the fact, right? Or did she tell you, I don't like you?
No, she told me after the fact.
Oh, okay, I was about to say.
No, she didn't tell me that right then. Like, that probably would have been all bad. She would have just came out and be like, I really don't like you for my daughter or something like that. Like, yeah, I don't know if that would have.
That's not something she would do or something she would say. But she did tell me, she didn't say, like, I don't like him, but she would kind of, like, always ask me questions about you. Kind of like, why are you with him type of thing. Yeah, she would. Because she didn't really know you, and I think it was just your outward appearance.
Yeah,
and then you had braids, and you were like wearing baggy clothes back then.
That was the thing. Baggy clothes was what was it?
Yeah, it was.
Everybody wore baggy clothes.
But you were super baggy.
And I was like 130 pounds.
Exactly.
Wearing super
you
baggy
were super
clothes.
Baggy, and yeah. So she thought you were kind of like thuggish, and you weren't, like, you were older than me, but you weren't really stable.
No car.
Like, you didn't have a car.
No
You
job.
didn't have a valid driver's license. You were like kind of bouncing around from job to job. So she was well within her rights to be a little skeptical, about who her daughter is dating. And I think that when it comes to in-laws, that's probably the biggest thing when you're like inviting somebody new in. It's not necessarily that you don't like that person, but you're very protective
you want to make sure
of your family. So you're kind of like sizing this person up, like, are you gonna really fit with her or him, or
I was prepared to take care of her daughter. And when I met your dad for the first time, that was awkward. But you know, I stood my ground. He
Yeah.
you know, asked me my intentions. I told him. I stood by it. And he actually already knew who I was because of football.
Yeah.
So I think his perspective on me was a little, I won't say one-sided, but he kind of already had an idea. Like, I know who you are already.
You're like, jock
Yeah.
type.
You're a football player.
Football player, star type of thing.
Yeah, I know
so,
who you
like,
are. So
are you using my daughter?
yeah.
Or
What do you want with her?
exactly. Yeah. So, but you're here now, and they love you.
I was like, hey, she's taking pictures of me, sir, in the yearbook. Okay, she follows me to the games. I just play. She's the one who be on me like that.
No.
No?
And that was like well after high school. So
Last year, that wasn't. Oh yeah,
that was like we were way out of high school.
Yeah,
by
we were in
then.
college by then.
We were, yeah. So it was like that was like irrelevant.
true.
But I think as far as me like encountering in-laws, I mean, I still like I've met your aunt and your uncles and your cousins and stuff like that. So I did, and your grandma, of course. But she just welcomed me with open arms. I just love grandma. She's like mom.
Yeah, exactly.
She's like mom. So she always, made me feel welcome, and she was awesome. But I do think at first meeting like your aunt and your uncles and stuff like that, or even like your brother for the first time, one of your brothers, it was a little bit it wasn't nerve-wracking, but it was just kind of like you can't really be your true self because you don't know if you're going to be accepted for your true self, but you still want to talk a little bit because you don't want to make it seem like you're standoffish. So it's an adjustment.
So
it's an adjustment
for me too. What I meant to actually jump into and getting started with was when we first got married, and I moved up here from San Diego. I moved right in with you and your family.
Yes.
And for those of you guys out there who've had to go through this situation where you move in with your husband or your wife's family, you guys can relate. Like it's a little different. They got
weird.
The rules and regulations on what you can and can't do. You really don't have too much privacy. So it's like, I mean, like thinking back on it, I mean, I feel like I probably like just was in the room all the time. And I would just like come out when I needed to get something and go back. Because it's like, if you wasn't there, it just was weird. Because it's like, I live here, but I still don't know everybody yet. Yeah, like I don't know everybody like that to just be walking around doing what I want. Like I felt like it was out of my place to go and make myself something to eat or something. Like this ain't even my house. Like it's like walking on eggshells, and you can't be yourself.
Yeah.
You can't just do what you want. Like I felt like I couldn't even fart. You know what I'm saying? Outside the room. Like I need to go in the room or go in the bathroom and fart, hold it in, and it was just. I mean, it was weird. That was probably for the first maybe like a year or something. But I mean, the longer I was there, the more I realized like, okay, they're comfortable with me being here.
They don't care.
And then I became comfortable. And then once like I said, I realized that mom was just like me. It was like, that was it right there. Like, just like me.
If nobody else don't get me, mom gets me.
Yeah, just like me. And Pop, he turned out to be, we turned out to have some similarities. Well, over time, I took on some of his.
Yeah, I think you just took on some of his character traits, just as far as you, like growing up and becoming older and maturing, and then starting a family of your own. I definitely see a lot of like my dad's character traits in you. Like, okay, you got some of the same pet peeves that my dad has.
They're worth having. They're legit. Like it's not just like
I guess
something that's just like that's just ridiculous. Like it's stuff that is, worth having. Like, no, you're not about to do that.
Yeah. I forgot what I was about to say. I had like a thought going through my head
When I
as
was
you were
talking about
talking.
when I was living with you guys,
Yeah.
it was. I mean, it
Oh,
was
that's
for
what
me.
I was gonna say. I think that it was probably more difficult too because like you and I hadn't lived together before, so it was like
Oh, yeah.
we were getting to know each other on that live-in basis. But then you also had extra people,
Yeah,
so that was maybe that. I think that that was part of the reason why our first like year and a half of marriage was so rough because
yeah. We're trying to get to
we
know
didn't
each
have that
other.
time. Yeah,
Yeah.
we didn't have that time to really
Usually, when you get married, it's just you and your wife.
in your own space,
Yeah.
and you guys can kind of create the type of
Yeah.
environment that you
we were
want.
long distance
And
date. Well, when we first started dating, you were in San Diego. Then you moved away, and then it was a
long
back and
distance,
forth.
yeah.
And then we just got married, and then moved in together with your parents, though. Mm-hmm. And we didn't get that time. Mm-hmm. And then
And then we had our first kid together, like right after that.
Yeah.
So it was like we never got that one-on-one, just like husband and wife, newlywed time that we should have got, or that we needed to get. So I feel like that part was a little bit weird, or like different of a transition. But what would you have to say about couples who deal with, and obviously this isn't something that we deal with, but I know a lot of couples that do deal with, like the wife and the mother-in-law like clashing or button heads, or you know what I mean? Like if your mom was still living, let's just do like a for instance, if your mom was still living, do you think she would like me?
yeah,
And why? Are you just saying yeah?
because you're.
Because
A
I
lot
didn't
like
know
her.
your mom. I knew your dad. I never met your mom.
Yeah, but she was a lot like she was. Into hair and beauty.
Yeah, but that
She
doesn't
would
mean
like
she
you.
would like me.
She would like you. Well, I mean, I never really had a girlfriend when she was
When she-
alive. I was
right.
so young,
Right.
So I couldn't even really say.
You don't know how she would react to another
I don't
girl,
know how
like
she would
being in your
react to
life.
another girl, or
Yeah.
like what type of girl she would like for me.
Yeah.
But I mean, even grandma would say it. Like, she thought that you were somewhat like my mom.
Yeah, she
So,
would say that all the time.
I think she would like you. Like, I don't see why she wouldn't. It ain't like my
But-
mom wanted me to be with some ratchet girl or something. Like, you need to be with somebody that's ratchet who ain't got nothing going for themselves. Like, you know what I'm saying? You
No,
do hair,
but-
you're into style and beauty, and you treat me right. So I don't see why she wouldn't like you.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I know that there are a lot of couples out there who they always have issues with the mother-in-law, and it's like the wife isn't doing anything wrong. She's treating her husband right. She's, you know what I mean? But there's always like they're butting heads. Do you feel like it's a protective thing,
Yeah.
like a mom over her son, a protective thing, or do you think it's like a jealousy thing? Or
I wouldn't
you
say
know what I mean? Like what?
I wouldn't say jealousy because, I mean, it's your mom, so
Yeah, but
there's no need for her to really feel jealous. I think it's more of a protective thing. Like, she's
Yeah.
protective over her son, and here you come in the picture. You're gonna marry my son, and he's eventually gonna go off and leave me. But does he really know what he's getting into? And the mom always feels like
she knows best.
she knows best, and she don't know you that well.
Yeah.
So it's like, she's going to intervene, and she's going to do things that she shouldn't be doing in order to make sure that, you're the right person for her son. But I wouldn't say jealousy. I would just say it's just a mom, being very protective.
Yeah.
And sometimes, though, it's, the wife may have her little thing that, she's got going on where, the best way to explain it is like maybe the mom is trying to help in a way, but the wife is just like, I can do this by myself, and she doesn't want to take the help. Like the mom, in some situations may actually be
helping.
like like say mom for instance, you know, her and pop, they've been married for a long time. So say she was trying to intervene and just say like, you know, hey, you know, we've been married, you know, over 20 years, over 30 years. And, you know, when we encountered these type of situations, this is what we did. But the wife may look at it like, I don't need you to tell me what to do. Like, this is my marriage. You had yours. You know, you do you, and I'm going to do me. And we're going to figure this thing out. But it's like she's just trying to give you some constructive criticism on what you're doing wrong and how to correct it. And some wives, you know, are prideful and they just feel like, I don't need somebody else to tell me how to make my marriage good.
Yeah, but I think too that comes in like your approach. Like how are you presenting it? Are you presenting it like in a passive aggressive way, like, oh honey, let me help you, like you don't know what you're doing, you know what I mean? Or are you actually saying it with the intent to actually help? You know what I mean? Or are you just like, yeah, honey, you don't know what you're doing. Like, let me step in and help. You know, mama's here.
When it's like that, I mean? If you know what I'm saying, you come home and your mom is at your house, you know, cooking dinner. Like, well, this is what he likes to eat.
Right. Oh my God.
He look like he ain't gaining no weight.
Oh.
If it's something like that, then it's like, okay,
I couldn't.
I need to step in and talk to my mom. Like, Mom, I'm not a child anymore. I'm married now. Like, you need to let me be married. Let my wife take care of me.
And I think that's what it takes. It takes the husband stepping in and talking to his mom. And the husband and wife
they gotta be
setting those boundaries.
They gotta be on the same page.
Being on the same page and setting those boundaries. But he needs to go and communicate with his mom.
Yeah. You guys out there who are watching, if you have issues with your parents where, you know, you and your wife don't see eye to eye, I think it is very, very important that you guys are on the same page. Therefore, when the parents intervene, they can't tear you guys apart, because if you guys already aren't seeing eye to eye, and
it's going to make it worse.
It's going to make it worse. So, and one of the examples that comes to mind is like if you have a family birthday party, you know, somewhere later on down the line, you have a baby, and you guys are at the birthday party, and you know the families are sitting on separate sides. You know, you got to make that come together, and you guys got to be on one accord. Yeah. Which takes me into another topic on the two families blending together. Like, right, not just the direct in-law. Yeah, because like we don't have that opportunity for my parents to meet your parents. Right. You know, your parents met my family, but at the same time they kind of already knew each other. Growing up in San Diego, everybody kind of knows each other. But you know, your parents never got a chance to meet my parents. But for, you know, other couples who do have that issue, you know, I would say get on the same page as your spouse. Yeah, because you definitely... You guys need to get on the same page as far as setting boundaries. You need to tell them you too old to be acting like that. No, that's not... No, Deontay. I would tell my mom and my dad, like, y'all too old to be trying to not like somebody else's parents. Like, y'all need to get over that. You too old, first of all. Like, I don't have no problem with them. Somebody they're too old to feel a certain type of way. You can when they your parents. Yes, you can. No, I would never tell if mom you're too old to feel that way, Mom. If you married and your parents don't like your wife's parents, I mean, maybe you don't have that type of relationship when you could say, oh, y'all too old. But you definitely need to be an adult about it and say, like, you know, this is my wife and this is her family and we are going to be together. So, you know, if you guys are going to be a part of this, you guys gotta fix it. Like, whatever it may be. Like, I mean, and since we didn't have to go through it, I can't really say what the issues are. But I mean, just off the top of my head, it's just probably like, you know, small situations like maybe your parents think that they're better than my parents, or maybe your parents think that I wasn't good enough for you, and then my parents kind of get that vibe. And now they don't like you. They don't like it. Yeah. But it's never really said out loud. It's just the tension all the time. And that's when you got to, like, step in and kind of like catch those vibes and be like, look, I don't know what it is with y'all.
Nip it in the bud.
But that's high school stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? You guys are just going to act like, you know what I'm saying? I don't realize, but every time we have a function, you guys just say, oh, hey, how you doing? How's it been? And then that's it. You don't talk no more. Like, when it's two families coming together, it should be everybody's mingling. Like, you know, my dad and your dad is over there doing whatever they do, playing dominoes, playing cards, you know, talking about sports, and you know, and your mom and my mom is over there.
Like,
that's how it should be.
And I don't know if it's just like my family. We're just
It's a loving family.
A loving family. Like, I love my family. I think I have an awesome family unit, and we're all, even though we're all different, we're still all the same when it comes to family. And like my brother and his in-laws, like we can all get together with my brother's in-laws for like birthday parties, Thanksgiving,
vacations.
We can just all get together, and there's never nothing.
Yeah.
And I think that if
there's never anybody sitting off to the side.
Like, you know, my dad and my brother's father-in-law, they're always talking. They text each other like all the time. Like, it's just, you know, it's like family.
Yeah.
It's like family.
If somebody,
and I think that's the way that it should be.
Yeah. If somebody were to see us in an environment like how we have our family functions,
they wouldn't know who was like blood related.
They wouldn't know who was who.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be like, so are you guys brothers, or are you guys just friends? Like, this is my son's father-in-law.
Yeah.
They'd be like, oh, I would have thought you guys were brothers the way you guys are.
Yeah, because it's just, you know, it's genuine.
Yeah. If you don't have
genuine.
that, I'm sorry, but
I'm sorry.
It is a good feeling.
But and it is a good feeling,
there,
and it's so like just peaceful, and you never have to walk on eggshells around anybody, because it's like, you know what, we're all here for one reason. Whether it is a birthday party or whether it is, you know, whatever, we all have a common thing. Whatever that common thing is, we know that that's what we're coming together for, and it's not, there's no comparing, there's no, you know, hidden agendas or strife or, you know, anything like that. It's just love.
When we were living with your parents too, and this is another thing that came to my mind on when you're talking about like loving and how your family is just loving. A situation where we got into it in the beginning of our marriage.
Oh.
And I realized that mom is mom. She yelled at me and she went off on me. And you wasn't even there to back me up. And let me tell y'all, when somebody else's mama go off on you, it ain't nothing you can do. I mean, it ain't nothing you can do. Mom yelled at me. She didn't even cuss at me or nothing. It was just all yelling. And she was right. I was in the wrong. She was right.
A sanctified yell.
Yeah, it was a sanctified yell. Like, I felt the Holy Spirit come over me. It was like she just whooped me with her words, and I just I didn't know. I froze. I'm like, I didn't know what to say, but it's like at the same time, I was like, dang, she cares, because she didn't have to yell at me. She could have just left me alone
and came to tend to me,
talk to you, and be like, send him back to San Diego,
get him out of here.
But
yeah,
I don't know how long that was, but I know it was probably like, it had to be like in our first year of marriage.
It was definitely in our first year.
Child
yeah, it was in our first year of marriage.
Yeah, which is
it was that
rough.
rocky stage where it was like, oh my God, you get on my nerves, like,
and not having nowhere to go
every day. I was like, oh my God,
I didn't have anywhere to go. I moved all the way from San Diego. I'm living with your family. You can just like leave, go to one of your sister's rooms or anything. Like, where am I gonna go?
Yeah,
outside, down the street, to the park. I had nowhere to go, so that's why I lived in that room. Like, I was in that room all the time.
Yeah,
just in there, like
in the beginning, you were
probably looking around, like, what can I do in here? I ain't had no PlayStation. I didn't have no kind of game system. I used to just sit in there and be like,
with your flip phone.
With the flip phone, Verizon. Flipping. No games.
Yeah, the razor.
Yep.
The razor.
That's when we had the razors. Dang.
Oh man, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, if y'all see us now, I'm like the son. I'm like the. She's the daughter-in-law. I'm the son now.
No.
Now I can go over there to the house and she don't even need to be there. Treat me just like an actual son.
Yeah.
She don't have to yell at me no more though.
But if she needs to, she will.
Oh yeah.
She has no
But she
problem.
won't need to though.
She has no problem doing that.
No, not at all.
And I feel like you've gotten more comfortable with her too now, to where you'd be like, "Mom, no."
Yeah. In the beginning, that's something too to speak on. Like in the beginning, like all your answers are yes because like
Right.
I want you to like me. So what do you want me to do?
I'm gonna do it.
Okay, I'll do it. Like a lot of the stuff that I did, it was because Mom asked me. I didn't know how to do it, but I did it, and I got good at it. And now it's like, why did I do that? Because now she asks me to do it all the time. But yeah, now I've gotten comfortable to where I'll be like, Mom,
no,
I
not
don't
today,
feel like
Mom.
it." Yeah, I end up doing it. I just not at that moment.
Yeah.
But before it'd be like, I just worked a 14-hour shift. My feet hurt.
Yes, Mom.
Like-
I'm gonna do it.
Can you move this couch into the house for me? Okay. Knowing I want to say no. But
Yeah.
now I'm like, Mom, I'm tired. I'm about to go home. You crazy. I'll do that. I will do that later. That thing is gonna stay right there.
Yeah. That's true. And how long do you think that it took you to get like really comfortable? I don't think long.
No, once I found out Mom was like me, it was like all that other stuff went out the door. Like, I'm good.
Yeah. But I feel like you still...
It still took a little bit though. It took some years
years? Maybe.
for me to say no. At least it took some years.
Yeah, for you to say no.
But to actually
Yeah,
just
for
be
you to say
myself, it was probably after Mom yelled at me. After she yelled at me, it was like, okay, if she can yell at me and then go back to being a pastor again like that, okay, I'm good. Like, I'm in good hands. I'm gonna be me now.
Oh, that's so funny because I remember you telling me like your mom yelled at me.
I was telling on Mom like it was something that you can do about it.
I was like, well, what did she say? You know, like, dang. You know, I'm like, I'm sorry my mom yelled at you, but she was probably right or whatever she said. So
Yeah, if your mom,
gotta take it.
your mother-in-law don't yell at you at least one good time,
she don't love you.
she don't love you. Especially if you doing something wrong.
Right. But that's real life though. If she's not comfortable or your father-in-law is not comfortable enough to like correct you, like to your face, then yeah.
Yeah, because Mom,
They
Pop,
shouldn't have to
will
go
both-
to the other person and be
they'll
like,
correct me.
can you tell Deontay that, you know, whatever. Or, you know, Deontay was wrong when he did that. Like, if they're not comfortable going to Deontay, excuse me, and saying, like, Deontay, I need to talk to you for a minute.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We need to have a one-on-one real quick. That should be the level of comfort with your in-laws.
Yeah. Which,
Because that means they have your best interest.
yeah.
Like, they want to see you grow. They want to see your marriage succeed. And not going off and complaining about you to your spouse. That's not, to me, that's causing more strife. Like, don't run off and tell somebody else the issues that you have with me. Come and talk to me.
Yeah. That's a big thing. Venting to your parents, because that'll cause division
Yeah.
between the two of you, and you know the whoever, you know, if it's me talking to my mom or whoever about you, that's gonna make her not like you,
Right.
but you
because
don't know
you're
it.
telling her all the negative, and it's
Yeah.
not like I want you to think that she's a negative person, but for, you know, for whatever reason, we had a bad day today and I just need to tell somebody.
Yeah. And for
But
those of you guys,
that's going to stick with them.
yeah, and for those of you guys who are watching, who are probably wondering like, how can that cause division between me and my wife? Here's how. So I'm telling my mom, you know, what you're doing wrong and how I'm feeling. You know, I'm, you know, mad about this or mad about that, or she ain't doing this. she knows it. She's not gonna go to you, but she's gonna treat you a certain way, and then you're gonna realize it,
Right.
and then you're gonna bring it to my attention, and then I'm gonna act like
You didn't tell her
tripping.
nothing.
Yeah, like no, my mom knows you tripping, and now you keep bringing it up, and now it's starting to come out to me like I think you just don't like my mom.
Right.
But
Right.
in
Not
reality,
realizing that you planted that seed in your
Yeah.
mom's head, and that's what created this whole situation.
most of the time when you do stuff like that, your mom's not going to be disrespectful in front of you. It may be a time where you guys are over there, and then you went off somewhere, and she just giving you an ugly eye, just looking at you like, I know what you did. You told me.
The dead cat on the line.
Don't use that word. Don't use that old saying. That is for old people.
It's the
We
dead cat on the line, guys.
And then you over there
means something
looking,
ain't right.
Yeah, you over there looking like, am I in trouble?
Yeah.
But she don't ever say nothing.
Just looking.
And then you know what I'm saying, y'all go home and you like, I don't know why, but your mom was looking at me weird, like I did something. Like, no, I don't think so. That's just her look. Like, no, she like was frowning at me and was like, ugh, like she smelled something. And then next thing you know, you guys are arguing, but don't vent to your parents.
Yeah.
Or if you're gonna
your
talk to
family.
Yeah, your family.
Not too much, because it's like you're not going to be as forgiving, or they're not going to be as forgiving to your spouse as you are, because it's not the same type of love there.
Yeah,
So
they love
you could do
but
something to me.
They're not in love with you like I'm in love with you.
Exactly. Exactly. So you could do something, it can get on my nerves, whatever, but I'll get over it. But if I tell somebody else, Deontay did this and did that, he did what?
Yeah.
And they thinking about that for the rest of the year. So any little thing you do, they like,
Yeah, they just keeping track.
exactly, keeping track. So, yeah, I would suggest don't vent to your family.
Yeah, I was gonna say don't vent, but if you do need to talk to your parents, you guys should both be present.
Yes,
Don't go and do it by
good.
yourself. Yeah,
I like that.
you should both be present.
I like that.
Like a little counseling session.
Right.
So if you're gonna, if I'm gonna throw shade at you and be like, what I'm saying, I don't like how she, talks to me certain ways. Do it together so that you can get a better understanding instead of just going. Because if I just
not embellish.
Yeah, because if I just go and do it by myself,
put a dub on it.
yeah, I'm gonna put a dub on it and I'm gonna build it up to my parents like she's just the worst
just
wife.
Slap me and spit in my face.
And they over there like, oh, okay,
right.
is that right? Oh, okay. But if you do it right there together, it's like, you guys can both get your side out.
And if you know that they're gonna give you the right type of counsel,
Yeah, you can't just do
like
it. To
if you know that your parents is just
if you got those ghetto parents,
not
That
don't
just-
say ghetto. Don't
why not?
because that's not. I don't think that's the right word. I
Yeah,
think
that's the right word. Some people
it's
got ghetto
not.
parents who don't know how to give counseling, and they just go and say first thing that pop in their head.
okay, but if you're ghetto, don't mean that you don't know how to give counsel. I would say ignorant.
It's ghetto, same
If you-
thing.
Oh my
But go ahead.
God,
Go ahead, say
Deontay,
what
it's
you
not
was
the same thing. If
I'm
you-
ghetto, so I don't care.
okay, so you're ghetto, does that mean that people don't come to you for counseling and you can give them good counsel? No, it just means you just ghetto.
But I have a better side too. I can give
Okay,
good counseling.
just
But if I want to be
quiet.
ghetto, I can be ghetto. I can turn
Quiet.
it off and turn it on.
quiet. If you know that they are ignorant and they're not going to give you the proper counsel, then maybe you shouldn't share what's going on in your marriage with them. If you know that they might just add fuel to the fire, then you don't, everything that goes on in your marriage doesn't need to be shared
Right.
with people.
Yeah.
Sometimes stuff just needs to stay between you and your spouse, and you guys need to work it out. And I remember the last like big thing that we had. I mean, and we have disagreements and stuff all the time. We're regular people, but the last big thing that we had, I remember this was when it was a couple years ago, And we didn't tell anybody. Like, I didn't tell anybody. I didn't go to my mom crying, or I didn't even tell, like, none of my, girlfriends or anything like that. And I remember it was just me and you, like, working it out. And I remember you were, like, sleeping on the floor. You weren't even sleeping in the bed with us. Nobody knew. Nobody knew anything that was going on. And we worked it out between you and I. And that was the last, like, big thing we had.
That was tough.
And I
sleep on that
floor.
Floor.
But I think that was our, like, we kept coming across the same test. And it wasn't until I think we're mature enough to handle it ourselves.
Yeah,
to where it kind of like, exactly. After that, like, we haven't had any issues with that anymore.
No.
And I think
and the issues that we do have are minor, like that.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Like, okay,
we've never had
comes and goes.
A big blow up about that specific situation since then. And I think that was like we overcame that, like we had to keep being tested until it was like, okay, we're mature enough to handle this on our own. We don't need to go crying to mom and dad, don't need to go crying to, our counselors or whoever. We dealt with it on our own, and we haven't had to deal with that since. So I just said that to say that everything doesn't need to be shared with everybody. There comes to a point where you should be in a level of maturity with your spouse and in your relationship to where you guys should be comfortable enough to talk things out in a mature way and work it out in a mature way. So yeah, I just wanted to share that because that kind of popped in my head, like, oh wow. So yeah, hope that conversation was helpful to you guys and insightful. This time around we did pre-pick our topic for next week, which is going to be on what, Deontay? I know you're excited about this one.
Submission.
What does that look?
I don't know.
Oh.
That's just what I felt in the moment. Submission. What did it look like to you?
I don't know.
I don't either.
It was an intense look.
It was intense.
But submission is a big one. I think that it's important that there's some level of submission between the wife and the husband. It definitely goes both ways. So we're going to talk about that.
That's going to be real.
That's going to be a good one.
Juicy, because I know a lot of couples deal with submission because a husband don't think
we deal with submission. And I mean,
yeah, we deal with it too.
A lot of couples. Let's talk about us.
I think everybody deals with it.
Yeah,
we definitely deal. So we're going to definitely be open and transparent about how we deal with it and how we dealt with it, because that's always something. Submission, because you don't know how much to submit, or if you submit, or if you want to submit. Yeah. So don't forget to follow us on Instagram. _still D0. It'll be at the bottom of the screen.
Yes.
You can follow us on Castbox. It's an app in the App Store. You should be able to get it in the Apple Store or Google Play. Search the same thing we still do. Obviously, YouTube. You can search on YouTube and you can find us. Subscribe, like our videos, leave comments, let us know if the content that you guys are getting is beneficial. If you have anything that you want us to talk about, let us know. We're going to start doing shout out Saturdays.
Yeah, we're going to try to do shout out Saturdays. So make sure you guys
send us a picture.
Send us a pic. If you guys have our numbers, you guys can text it to us. If we, don't know you that closely and you want to DM it to us, you guys can DM your pictures. And you guys can send us like a little bit of information about you and your spouse, like how many years you've been married or why you enjoy following us. Just, a little snippet. We want to try to do shout out Saturdays. If we don't get anything, we'll just be shouting ourselves out.
Shout ourselves out.
On Saturdays.
We got the merch.
Yeah.
Hit us up if you want merch. My plan is to do We Still Do shirts and do the amount of years that you've been married. If you guys like that, let me know. That was a thought that I had. So that way, you can put that on there.
Okay.
All right. So with that being said, we are coming to a close on this episode. I'm Deontay.
And I'm Maymuna.
And we still do.